So EA Play just got added to Game Pass, and EA has made some pretty bad games over the years, but the main problems they have are pay to play and just general user interface problems. Things that could make their games much more playable. So on the note of bad games, there's some pretty damn good games out there as well. So here's my quick overview of EA Play. Alice Madness Returns is a highly overlooked EA game. Personally, this is actually in my top 20. Yeah, a favorite game of all time. The story is insane and captivating and dark, and the gameplay is just as twisted and wild as you would expect, with tiny little secrets riddled everywhere. The most interesting thing about this personally is I never replay a game, almost ever. But this game, the more you unlock, the more you play, the more you find, the more interesting and captivating the game becomes. Only because you can find different weapon variations, different clothes that can do different perks, just multiple things that can change the gameplay just enough just to increase the replayability. Though it might be a tiny bit outdated to other platformers, I highly recommend a playthrough on this game, especially if you're a huge fan of the dark world of Alice in Wonderland. So pretty much every single one of the Battlefield games have completely dead communities, or they're weirdly alive and you have to get a premiere pass. That or pay-to-play content. So in the end, I would say the most playable one would actually be Battlefield 5. Graphics are good, gun control is responsive, which can be a problem with some of the older games. And it actually has a playable online community without getting fucking completely scraped. Which clearly is a problem for people joining in on the game this late in. But I actually bought Battlefield 5 with a friend a long time ago. But even when I was jumping into it back then, and jumping into it now, both were pretty seamless. I really just grabbed a loadout and just headed in. So while there is pay-to-play content, it can be overlooked just as easily as some of the bullshit bundle packs in Warzone. Like, I hope we're at a mutual understanding when I say, don't buy skins for guns. It's stupid. There's also a bunch of stupid arcade games. But most of all, if you're a Burnout fan, don't play Paradise. It's not Burnout. It's not what you think it is. It's fucking bad. Dante's Inferno might feel like a ripoff of God of War. And it might be. Just a brutal, crazy fucking hack and slash shit show. But even if you played this before, I highly recommend just watching the animated movie and then playing this game. It definitely adds another emotional level to everything. Also, I can't show them to you, but there are titties. Like, a lot of titties in this game. Dead Space is a fantastic saga. Every game just expands on the intricacy of the layers of the plot, as well as increasing the quality of life per game. Like, if you want to play a spooky sci-fi space game, then you should play 1 to get the introduction to Isaac, 2 to get more background on the ship, the crew, and the necromorphs, and 3 for a good revisit to the series, while also making callbacks to the previous games. Also, 2 and 3 do have online capabilities, but I would highly suggest just staying to the single player. Multiplayer can be a bit broken, and not to your favor. The one thing you should not do, though, is play Ignition. Though the artwork is cool, it really has nothing to do with Dead Space. You know, aside from necromorphs. But it's mainly just a weird puzzle game that you can play with your friends. There's also no direction or guidance, so I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing for half these goddamn mini-games. Like, honestly, what the fuck is happening here? I uninstall. Dragon Age is a bit of an old series, but highly worth playing any and all of the story modes. Especially if you're a traditional D&D RPG kind of nerd. I would say for the time, every story was quite captivating. They really were revolutionary for the time. I still highly recommend Inquisition, because while 1 and 2 have good gameplay and fantastical stories, Inquisition just has an incredible story. And my personal favorite thing, even though there's only a few maps, Inquisition has a fantastic multiplayer. And I, to this day, still play Inquisition, because that shit is fucking great. You run in with a crew, you die, you get some loot. You run in with a crew, you die, you get some loot. But if you're new to the series, just start with 1 and see how you feel. It definitely has a feel of an old PC game, even on console. And you kind of grow to love it or hate it. It really is a bit outdated just for that, but it doesn't mean it degrades the story at all. So if you're looking for a single-player D&D RPG game, you should definitely fuck with this saga.
This is just like that gig I played in Leeds, except I'm sober, and nobody's thrown their underclothes at me yet.
There are a good amount of stupid little arcade games on here, And I'm not gonna lie, some of them captivated me for a lot longer than I expected. This being one of the more stupid ones. Now if you want an actually good arcade game on here, fuck with Heavy Weapon, dude. Because sometimes it's just the stupidest, most tedious games that make me fucking happy. Alright, let's start the long rant. Mass Effect 1 was amazing and revolutionary to the series. Mass Effect 2 and 3 built more on that incredible universe. Though all three have incredible stories, and I highly recommend playing every single one of these in order, I say that because this entire saga drew me in from number 1. Then 2 just expanded on that incredible universe that you were already living in. But 2 really did expand mining and planet exploration. Then 3 backed off of the planet exploration just a little bit, and just expanded on this beautiful universe that we all fucking love. Though I do have to say, 3 is a lot more political than the first. Also, every game gets better with personal customizations. Oh damn. It really is the perfect trifecta of games. One getting better and better building off of one another, and really fixing every fault in each game. Then there's Andromeda. They almost made this too complex. Like, I still don't understand why, but I don't understand why. Why did I have to make myself a twin in the beginning? I think it's fucking retarded. It just feels like they took a game that we really all fucking loved and cherished, and they just gutted it and left the skeleton and tried to just restuff it with shit. Like, some of the story was stupid and complicated in the previous games, but there was so much awesome shit going on you just wanted to push through and figure out what the fuck you had to do just so you could keep playing. This one just doesn't feel like there's anything to strive for anymore. And there's so many goddamn fetch missions that it just, oh my fucking god. And because of the, let's say, failure to launch from the first 3, the community just ended up tearing this game to fucking shreds. Still, the online is fucking non-existent. EA used to be really good, and they're gonna do another fucking Mass Effect game soon, so I'm kinda concerned about that. But if you love the first 3 Mass Effect games, I'm telling for your own sanity that you probably shouldn't play Andromeda. I've actually tried 3 full-hearted times to restart this goddamn game, and every time I cannot get that far into it. I just can't play it. It's just the bare bone fact that it's not as fun as the first 3. And although it looks very pretty, it's unfortunately missing a big hitter in the plot, just like a lot of other EA games. I'm just giving you a warning so you don't give your hopes up. So overall, play 1, then 2, then 3, then do not fuck with Andromeda. That is, unless you're really starving for a sci-fi adventure.
Hi there. Your dad say anything about what's going on?
Mirror's Edge is a fucking fantastic game. It's a very unique adventure parkour game. And not to shit on the first game at all because it's fucking great, but you should definitely play Mirror's Edge first, and then fuck with Catalyst. You don't have to beat the game or anything. It's really about how you feel about the controls and if you can get used to them. Because though this is a fun game, there's a lot fucking going on, and you have a lot to do to react. So if you've liked the basics of the first one, you can definitely advance to the intricacies of the second. It's really about the second one has refined actions, and refined edges of where to grab and where to jump, slightly tweaking some of the quality of life things that should have been adjusted in the first game. So in short, even if the first one does sound interesting, probably play the second one. Also, you should probably diverge from any racing games from EA. Aside from user interface problems, they're just made to look pretty. And I'm personally not a fan of these professional racing games where you can't drift and you have to slow down through the turn. Because I feel like a lot of them are meant to be played with an actual wheel, not a fucking controller. So if you are a normal person playing with a controller, I would highly recommend just playing any of the Forza games on Game Pass. The controls aren't shit, you can fuck some really nice cars, and you can actually reverse if you fuck up, which is huge. Okay, this one's stupid and you're gonna fucking hate me for this, but Peggle 2, the first time I downloaded it, I literally stayed up all night and beat the entire game. Every single bit of the fucking game. And I have no regrets. This was an incredibly fun little fucking stupid goddamn game. Literally like a game that you would have on your goddamn phone. But I don't... 10 hours later, Jesus Christ. This is clearly on the list of the stupid arcade games on EA Play, but I am not gonna fucking lie to you. I fucking love some of these stupid little arcade games. Now, if you really just want like a little time killer, this is definitely a fun little game to have installed. Okay, I've said this with having weird mobile games on the actual EA Play, but Plants vs. Zombies is a goddamn classic. And this is another stupid little arcade game that's just worth an install just to have. Like, if you're really looking to kill some time, just take a crack out of the random level that you're on. Though this is very straight and forward, the follow-ups to this game are far from that. After EA took over, it turned kind of a shit show, turning from a tactical arcade game into a weird PvP shooter, and then to a really weird PvP level-based shooter. I feel like that's enough information for me to tell you that I probably shouldn't fucking play those. I can't really see anybody that hyped that they're like, yo, you ever play Plants vs. Zombies? But like, yo, I just need to play more Plants vs. So I just want to shoot people with the plant. I am the plant. Like, nah, dude, you have a problem, you should walk away. Also, don't play this unless you want to just troll yourself with this weird fucking knockoff Kroger brand Devil May Cry. Oh, so don't install. Okay, like, what is happening?
Because in the meantime,
Ew. Ew.
helping myself.
Ew. Also, as much as I know that you want to make a sim and kill it, you will probably be wanting to fucking kill yourself after seeing how fucking goddamn frustrating the controls are in this game. Because unfortunate for console, some PC games do not transfer to console well at all. So yeah, just really just don't. Do you hate yourself? Okay, then don't do this. Okay, I wouldn't consider Skate 3 a great game. I'm just no Tony fucking Hawk. But honestly, some of the stupid fucking skits in this goddamn game just make it fucking worth it. Even if you don't play through the game, just fuck with the intro to at least see the stupid shit. The controls are a lot more complex than Tony Hawk, and that kind of makes it more fun. Just keep a heads up, there's a bit of a learning curve. So even though I fucking hate tutorials, make sure you do the goddamn tutorial. Okay, this is another bit of a weird conversation. While a lot of the environment in this game generally is really pretty, and there's a lot of really good concepts and aspects that are going on with the game, it's currently missing a lot of things that EA always has a little bit of a problem with. That seems to be user interface and navigation. And I could bitch about the tiny little things, like if you go to a new planet, you can't really tell which things to jump on, but it's also about the constant amount of glitches that happen in this fucking game. This not counting the amount of times that I've had to restart the game just to activate something to do with the story. And like I said, everything is super pretty about this game, right? Until you look at some of the fucking side characters. What the fuck is happening? What the fuck? Just a lot of the game feels like this. A lot of really weird, unfinished moments. And you know, sometimes you get lost with the main story doing side missions, but this game has no side missions, and I still get lost with the fucking main story. This is just another game I've retried to play so many fucking times. I have high hopes, but unfortunately, like Mass Effect and Andromeda, I just get distracted by the lack of story and purpose. The entire plot just seems like multiple coincidences that just line up to actually make a story. It's beautiful and cool, and on the outside it looks really fucking good. Then you get a peek inside and see the terrible map layout and the fucking bad unguided fighting system, and a whole bunch of things that just need a quality of life fix. I also need to turn this goddamn motion blur off. It's gonna make me fucking puke. Alright, cool. Glad I'm not the only one. Also, I don't want to talk about these. I'm gonna talk about some weird, clunky, shitty fucking Clone Wars bullshit. I guess you can play this game. Like, if you want to have a really cool all-out war and some crazy fucking battling system and shit, fucking just play Titanfall. 1 is only online and doesn't have much of a community, but 2 has a single player and multiplayer. And I would hands down say it's worth a playthrough, especially if you're a mech fan. And it mainly focuses on just fucking annihilating shit. And if it gets you any retrospect, basically Titanfall 3 is Apex Legends. So if you want to play a little bit less technical version of Apex, and you just want to wreak havoc more than anything, Titanfall 2 might be a good fit. And like I said, the online community is still very much there. And there is buyable content, but they're just skins and bullshit. The majority of good things that you can actually get out of the game, you get through skill and actually playing. So do keep in mind, there are some veterans that have spent a good amount of fucking money in this goddamn game. So heads up and good luck. Unravel's a fun little platformer, very similar to Little Big Planet. Instead of a fantastical world with a whimsical story, it's very real and kind of dark. The entirety of the game is based around little puzzles, so you can extend your yarn and get farther from the house. That being said, the first game is a single player game, and the second is the cooperative experience. Where in the first you're trying to do many things to extend your rope, the second you're trying to do multiple things to complete puzzles while connected to each other. If you don't have anything to play and you're really bored, and you're sitting at home with your significant other, Unravel 2 would be a fantastic and fun little experience. But this definitely is a little puzzle platformer that requires a lot of patience. So if you really don't know what's going on, especially in 2, definitely take some time and sit down with your partner or whoever you're playing with, and just look at the screen and talk it out, because this game can get quite complex. This is actually kind of a stupid little game. It's fun though, it's really short. A perfect stupid little game to play online or locally with a friend. But through some bad voice acting and some very terrible actions, the game is pretty friggin' fun. Again, a little bit brutal and kind of fucking stupid, but pretty fun. The Dark Pictures anthology has multiple story-driven games, though they are based on horror concepts. So if you're wanting to play another story-based game, this is definitely another one to add to the pile. It's maybe worth playing a second time through, but there's not a huge amount of choices to actually change the narrative of the game. So, you know, if you played it once, you played it twice. But if you're just looking for something stupid to play through and waste your time, I found the stupid little dark comedy for you.
Did you let go? I don't let go. Did you let go? Whatever. Let's go get it.